Next we're always like pumping our guys and like making such sick videos and stuff, eh?
It's just a no-brainer for me. I love to edit, and I think it's one of the easiest bits of content to put together. You guys put so much work in, so I think it's for even if it's like gives you guys like even a moment of like, yeah, that's sick, even pre-fight or post-fight, it makes me smile. So
Well, we definitely appreciate it, man. You do good shit.
and we are here with none other than the lady who took, I would say, the Queen of Violence's moniker and maybe made it her own. Maybe the Darce Queen, maybe the Darce Queen. I don't know. But we have none other than the most vicious woman on the roster, if not the most vicious fighter on the roster. Jasmine Jasdavicius, it's a pleasure to have you on the Darce podcast.
The pleasure's mine.
Now, for you, I just want to take a look back quickly. It's January 2023. You have a fight with Gabriela Fernandez. You absolutely run through her, 4 takedowns, dominant decision win. Next, they say she's better than you everywhere. They say her striking is better than you everywhere. And you go in and you dominate Miranda Maverick once again to another decision win. Now, Tracy Cortez, a hard fight. But in the first round, you actually crack your orbital bone and march through to a really close decision. People can argue one way or the other, but the fact is you were like pretty hurt in that first round, and you marched through to show what kind of a warrior you are. And I think that fight actually has some of the most value out of your last bit of run, I think, out of anything. It shows like really who you are. Next, Priscilla Cachoeira. She's powerful. She's gonna knock her out. She's gonna catch Jazz on the feet. Dude, 326 strikes landed to 26. One of the most dominant MMA fights I have ever seen in my life, ending in a bloody submission at the end. Absolutely amazing. Next, Fatima Klein, short notice. She's this new prospect. He's up and coming. He's going to take her out for sure. No dice. You outclass her, dominate her, and show her there's levels to this shit. Welcome to the jungle. Last, Ariane De Silva. She's sharp on the feet, and I'll be honest, it was even when I was like on the feet. This is going to be interesting. What do? You pressure her, you march forward, you walk through her striking, you take her down, you dominate her, and you Darce choke her. Now, I know I went on a little bit of a run here, but it's been an honor to watch you fight over the last little bit. I just wanted to sort of give you that little ode to you. What does it mean to you? Like, do you have a chance to look back at this and
Well, firstly, thank you very much. That's so kind for you to kind of list everything off. And yeah, I guess reflecting now, it's been a pretty crazy journey, but yeah, like one step at a time, and looking forward to like the next big opportunity that presents itself, and like continue to keep this trajectory going.
now I sort of listed off like some of these main key moments, even in a loss like that whether we say loss or not, the value in you marching through that was, I think, some of the biggest moments for me. But what was the biggest moments for you in this last little bit of a stretch?
Well, so for like one thing that that loss, yeah, is like a big moment for me, because I feel like going through that, like having that the vision being that bad for like that long of a fight, it's like what what else could happen? Like what's worse than that? And I got through that. So going into the fights, like moving forward, I kind of like saw hell, and so it's like, okay, let's go, man. Like let's throw caution to the wind. And I think like that kind of like that particular fight gave me that. Just this last fight with De Silva, I feel like I gained a lot of like how talented of a striker she was. And then in the first way, there was like for a while I'm just like standing with her to feel what she feels like, and I gained more confidence within myself doing that, because she's in accomplished striker, and then to do it while the lights are on, it showed me that I have the capabilities like more than I think.
And that's a good point. I was going to ask you that because like with the past stretch of wins and dominance that you've been sort of breaking things down, I wondered if it was not as much a skill gap that you've gained. Like, so I don't think it's that you've gained more skill. I think it's that you've gained more confidence and comfortability in the cage. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. Like I started the sport late. I didn't have years of competition under my belt, and so every time I get in there, it's getting, more known, more comfortable, more. Of course, you're always gonna have the nerves. You're always gonna have those uncomfortable feelings, but I understand those feelings, and I've been through them multiple times now. And so it's like comfortable in the uncomfortable. And that is what gives me the confidence.
Would that Tracy Cortez fight in the future at least maybe entice you as a possibility?
Yeah, of course. I would anytime you have a loss, you want to get it back. Like, I mean, I feel like I won in the fight, like where, us two together, it's like we know who won. But the the scorecards and the records say otherwise. So of course I want to avenge that.
And now, recently, Zahabi was on Ariel Hawani talking about, ultimately, and he's right with breaking it down to the finest degree. The media doesn't know shit to the finality when it comes to fighting. When it comes down to the be all and end all, the media will build you up or tear you down in a moment. And we see it all the damn time. You're riding high in April and shot down in May, so to speak. So for you, how do you sort of now work with this? Because you've had your lows, you've had your points where you felt like crap, and we talked about that on the podcast before. Now you're riding high. How do you sort of keep that even playing to keep yourself just training and getting to work?
Just kind of doing what I keep doing. It's like I'm not making any big differences. I'm still in the room every day, grinding, trying my hardest. Like I don't, I once the fight's done, then it's done. We're on to the next one, and the idea in between each fight is to up my skill set and to be the best that I could possibly be going into the next fight. So I'm not gonna be riding that high anymore because like we're on to the next one. We're on to business. I got a short window, and if I'm keep on thinking about my wins and looking in the rear view mirror, I'm missing what's going on. So I yeah, what great success on the last one, but on to the next.
And now this sort of does go with the hype stuff, but it's the idea of the Canadian pride. And I know that you're really proud to be Canadian. And I know that Canada had a rough run in Toronto, but also had a huge high in Vancouver that everybody all of a sudden forgot about. And people were sort of, I want to say, the shitting on Canadians, saying that Canada doesn't have, what it takes to be at MMA and all. There's a lot of, I mean, obviously I'm delving into message boards and stuff that people normally don't see, but it's a lot of negative crap. How does it feel for you to be someone who sort of picked up the flag? You're almost like Captain Canada right now. You're sort of leading the ship right now, and a lot of people have sort of referenced that. How does that feel to sort of have that moniker, and or do you just once again not really buy into it too much, or take pride in the fact that you're the lead front at least of Canadian, if not women's MMA in Canada. You're right at the top.
Yeah, I mean it's an honor. It's cool to be able to fight in Canada and like have the Canadian crowd with me. I feel like I really get like I feed off the energy of the crowd, and so fighting in Canada is always like amazing for me. I think maybe other people feel it as pressure, but it kind of just like charges me up. So I feel proud to be able to kind of keep doing what I'm doing, and I know we got a whole bunch of great fighters here, so everyone talking shit on the internet, like whatever. I know the guys, like I see the guys in the room, I see them, when we go to other gyms, like all the Canadians, they're putting in the work and they're doing it. Like it's MMA is really growing in Canada, and it's so cool to see.
I'm around a lot of once again in this sort of capper market, but it's these online YouTubers, and it's like, wait a minute, you thought he was the best fighter in the world 2 months ago, and now he's the worst fighter, and it's like there's just no it's horrible context. But just two more questions and then we'll get out of here. But I wanted to ask about the crucifix. It seems to be your end game. Like you're working towards that as a finality because it gives you what you need. Because it seems like you're going to be able to dominate girls, get them down, you get them in the crucifix. There's elbows there, but if I don't get me wrong, they sort of turn in, then that choke is just available. Is that sort of a setup for that? That's just it's there, right?
Yeah, and, like, I have a whole series that I do that works for me, and, I've developed, like, a system that works, if you're getting out of one thing, it's putting you into another thing, and it's like quicksand, like Mike Pyle taught me, like, always keep them in quicksand, keep them thinking that they're doing well when they're actually getting more caught into that web.
I love that, and I think that's really what it's been. You've been sort of able to melt girls now. You're melting them completely. They're starting to wilt under the pressure in that third round. You're not going away. The takedowns continue to come, and I mean, the takedowns don't seem to be as hard. You seem to sort of get the takedowns. You don't really, you just know how to manage it well. Like up against the cage, you don't shoot for a takedown fully when you don't need to. You wait for it, wait for your moment. You never overuse your energy that way, and it's just a honestly, it's just a pleasure to watch you do work in the cage. And I know that, it's a big testament to also Niagara Top Team and their style and their methodologies and the way you guys all seem to have great cage work, great wrestling as well too. So just wanted to tip my hat to you guys and tip my hat to you as quickly becoming, the face of Canadian MMA and, one of the best MMA fighters out there right now that are just wilting with it.
Yeah, thank you very much. No, the coaches, they pay so much attention to us. Like when we're getting ready for a fight, all hands on deck. We have such an amazing coaching staff and teammates. Like we wouldn't be able to do this without our teammates. And we have a amazing community of really dedicated, like hardworking people that all bind together and really like help whoever's fighting. Like it's people aren't taking days off because they have to be held accountable to help their teammates out, and we're all just growing together because of it. It's such a amazing, very very unique thing that we have, but it's a very special thing at Niagara Top Team right now.
Now, something that's pretty important for the sport I have a daughter, she's 7 years old, for her to be able to see a powerful woman, and now I don't let her always watch all fights, especially with some of your damn fights lately. Um, but man, it's important for her to see that image, a Canadian woman winning at, powerful dominance and sort of, not just winning in a fight, but also just winning in your career and doing what you're doing. What does it mean for you to also be, a female Canadian role model?
It's cool. It's weird to think about that, like, little girls look up to me just because, like, I know me. I'm far from perfect. And so it's still like a little bit weird, but it's humbling and it forces me to always be reflecting on myself and to make sure that I'm like putting my best foot forward, almost like for them, to make sure I'm being like a good like role model and or whatever they do like look to me as. And so it's a really cool, like humbling, but blessed thing.
No, that's awesome, and it's crucial for MMA in Canada. You need to believe that it's possible, right? So it's George St. Pierre did that for a lot of the men, but it's like women's MMA it's here. Women's MMA is here. It's officially the last 2 years. The growth in women's MMA is crazy, and the fact that you're at the forefront of it right now is pretty exciting. Calumn McGregor, the Darce podcast. I am with the queen of the Darce, Jasmine Jasdavicius. It has honestly been a pleasure to watch you work. And it's really awesome to see you now. Like you said, you're comfortable in the cage. you're at home, it's your home, and you just go about and do what you're doing. So thank you.
No, thank you. You're always pumping our guys and helping our team out, and I really appreciate it. I'll try getting the darts for you.